Hi, it's CG Fagerhaugh, and I'm doing my second video on my 7-day water fast that I am embarking on as I sit under this tree and lean upon its bark. I just want to share with you how I feel the second day. It is the second day as of 3 p.m. today. It's been 48 hours. And I haven't been drinking a whole lot of water. I'm accustomed to dry fasting for 3 days at a time, and I've done that for years. So for me to start a water fast, it seems to be less messy for me to just do very minimal water. I did a little bit yesterday, and it made me have more of a headache, and I did like gag a little bit and throw up some foamy white stuff. But today I haven't had any water, and I feel good. I have high energy, and I went and walked the dog today, and I still have till May 3rd off from work, so I don't have any obligations other than just, self-care. I've been working really hard the last few years here in Delaware, the state of Delaware, selling floors. And during the COVID, more people bought floors in the history of my career, and since I've been alive, I think everybody just wanted to do floors and home remodels. So I've just been busting my butt, and I really want to break into the coaching industry. That's my goal, that's my plan, and I'm working towards that, and just posting these videos are part of that. I spent last year working with Tony Robbins on a course that I created on my 4 pillars: fasting, self-reflection, connecting with nature, and drinking plenty of good water, in regards to overcoming fear and breaking through fear in your physical body, in your emotions, in your spirit. And it's posted on mastermind.com, on my Facebook, and on X, and on Instagram. And I'm also offering coaching with that. It's a self-guided course, but I'm offering coaching one-on-one and coaching, group coachings as well through Zoom. But today is just an update on day 2 of projected 7-day water fast. And I mentioned in yesterday's video that I haven't done a water fast for 10 years, approximately. In 2013 I did one, but that year I did 2. I remember I was down in Bakersfield with a friend before I had really landed back in California. After moving back here, I was between Bakersfield and the Bay Area, and I stayed with her down there and her kids, and I had my dog with me. And there was this great pool nearby, and hot tubs, and I was really just grieving still my divorce, and I just had this heavy weight in my stomach. It was bleh, right there. And my friend was into fasting too, and she had some time off work, and we were both doing cleanses and fastings, and I just took mine to a 10-day water fast. And I remember after 10 days of water fast, I got such an emotional release from, I guess it was grief that I was carrying, from maybe disappointment, grief, heartbreak, betrayal, everything that I was experiencing when I was going through my divorce. And I was just carrying it around, and I hadn't landed any place. I was between Northern California and Southern California, staying with friends, and nothing had opened up for me, so I was just rolling with it. And I had everything everything I owned in a car, and my big dog, and a big piano keyboard. And so when something finally opened up in Northern California, I was there for a couple of years, and during that time I did another 7-day water fast. So I did 2, one 10-day and one 7-day during that year. I believe it might have extended into a little bit over a year. I think it was 2013, maybe cutting edge of 2014. So I moved back down to the Bay Area that December. So I think it was both in the year 2013. So I really haven't experienced much cravings for food at all. I think I was researching bromelain in pineapple for anti-inflammation properties, and I thought about eating a pineapple, but that was about it. And it's so nice to be free from food. Fasting is so good for that. And a lot of times our culture, we're just bored. We grocery shop and we cook food and we look up recipes and we plant gardens of food, and I just think it's so overdone here, and fasting helps us get back to simplicity. A friend of mine used to hate it when I talked about fasting all the time. She's like, "Oh, you can fast all you want. I love food. I don't want to give up my food." Well, you don't give up your food when you fast. You can't survive without food and nourishment. Fasting is just you stop eating for a little bit for a lot of good reasons. And anybody who's experienced it would testify to that. If you have depression, it's hard to get to root causes of why we're depressed, let alone struggle with being depressed. And fasting helps lift off that depression, so you can have a clear mind, a peaceful mind, and a reflective mind, so you could actually reflect on what the hell's going on with you. Why are you so pissed off or depressed or angry or afraid? And that is the beauty of fasting. It's like we step out of our fleshly, egotistic, false self, so to speak. I mean, the ego has been defined as a set of performances for the unreal self. And when you fast, it's like getting out of your ego and getting into this place in yourself where you desire to really live, to experience joy and peace and the love of God, and just love, an abundance of like unconditional love that just envelops you and fills your heart and flows like a river. And everybody might not have that experience when they start fasting, because I think fasting is a discipline that you have to cultivate, because when you first start doing it, you will struggle with those addictions, and it's good to get them out of your house. Get the potato chips and the snacks out of the house, put them in a safe, put them in a box, take them to a friend's house, put them in the car, lock your car, I don't know. But it's like you have to be determined, and once you get into this place of beyond yourself, beyond this reality, everything we see here, it's like the basement of reality. I really, really encourage fasting. And when you step into fasting, you start to be more pensive and self-reflective. And you start to see things super clearly, like, why do I even have a conversation with that person? This is going nowhere. It's never gone anywhere. They're irrational, and they're manipulative and narcissistic. And I mean, a lot of people are. And fasting just really helps you navigate in relationships, and cultivates a passion and ambition and inspiration for life and for the things that are in your heart, which is the blueprint for your life. A lot of times we're just doing things because our parents or our culture has told us we need to be a doctor, a teacher, or a mechanic, or grocery store worker, or nutritionalist, but I think fasting is helping a generation break into new types of careers and vocations that are needed to help bring about a change in our world. And that's why I'm going into the coaching industry as a thought leader. I am a thought leader. I have lots of thoughts on things. That's one thing that fasting is good for too. And it's not always easy to be an intellectual in this world unless you live in Berkeley, California, which is where I was raised by. So I find as I get older, it's harder to find those people in relationships where you guys could share thoughts without being judgmental or critical or afraid. A lot of people, when they start listening to people and the thoughts that they have, they literally get afraid. It's actually a phobia, I think, of listening to like false thought or falsified statements or something. Like, people just have such a fear of like being deceived or listening to somebody who's not telling the truth, because they don't really have a way of discerning and understanding what is truth, what is deceptive, what is manipulative. And that's one thing that fasting has really, really helped me, because you truly can't discern life and the things around you and see through all the bullshit unless you're in love, unless you're in the spirit of love. And that love allows you to, without judgments and bias yourself, and without fear, because believe it or not, if you're not in a spirit of love, then you're in the spirit of fear. And that fear is going to give you critical thoughts, overthink things, dark thoughts. You might even be hearing, other people's thoughts or demon thoughts, or, energy out there that's talking or whispering in your ear, and feeding your own fears. And that is one thing that the fasting is really, really good for, is to ground yourself, it's amazing how quiet your soul can be when you fast. Now, it wasn't always like that for me. There was years when I had to just work through negative thinking, and that's where journaling comes in and self-reflecting a lot. When you do fast and you don't have just a peaceful kind of existence when you're fasting, and you're struggling with food addiction or other types of addictions, and not really experiencing the true bliss of life in peace and love. Once you start fasting, you start peeling away those coping mechanisms and those comforts that aren't real life. It's not true life. And it's a big facade that our ego tolerates and creates and tells ourselves time and time again that this is life. And so, second day of my fast, I feel really good. I haven't had any water. It's like 3 o'clock here. I stopped eating at 3 o'clock 2 days ago. And I experienced a little discomfort yesterday, a little bit of a headache, a little bit of nausea, a little bit of gagging, but that's it. I did drink some water last night, and it didn't come back up. I didn't throw it up. I just drank a little bit for the sake of, I felt nauseous and headachy, felt like I was moving something out. And I woke up feeling good, stretched a little bit, and been praying and meditating and looking forward to 3 p.m. when I wanted to do this video. And it was praying about what to say. And my place on fasting is quite mature for someone who's possibly sharing about it. So if you have any questions, please leave comments that are related to fasting and your own inquiry about them. But one of the best things to accomplish in fasting is working through your stuff that keeps you from true living, which is peace and love and joy in the presence of God. And so just giving a shout out on my second day. I feel really mellow. I mean, I dabbled with drugs and alcohol when I was a teenager, but when you fast and you just have pure intentions in life and you enjoy nature, I mean, you can sit and just watch the world go by. It's a Beatles song. I'm just sitting here watching, oh, that's the Wheels, not the world. I'm just sitting here watching the world go round and round. I really loved to watch it roll. When I was 12 years old, I would go to the liquor store, grocery store, pharmaceutical store. I'd sit there in the front of it after I took care of my horse and just watch people all day. I'm like a people watcher. That's one reason why I like working in sales too, a place where there's lots of people and interactions. But to be in a place of just contentment and peace and trust and love, it's really, really beautiful. And it's crazy out there in this world right now, but God has a plan for it all. So I think we just need to trust and continue on with what's going on internally inside of us, so we can help create heaven on earth. So second day of my fast, everything's great. I don't know what else I can say. My roommate right now, he is a junk food junkie. So I found myself like starting to talk to him today about something, and then I was like, no fucking way, I can't talk to this guy, he's not reasonable. It was just something stupid about my cat in the door, but I pay really good rent here, so I'm not gonna stir the pot. But that's one thing that fasting does for you. It makes you back out of just stupid stuff where you realize you're putting your energy in and it's not going anywhere, and you just need to set your course. And fasting helps you set your course, and it gives you the energy, the motivation. And again, if anybody is struggling with fear and anxiety and depression, I challenge you to fast. I challenge you to do a 16-hour fast, and that could be included in your sleep time. You could stop eating around 6 p.m. and go, 13, 14, 16 hours into the next day, and watch, that cloud, that darkness start to lift off you. Now, when you do fast, I don't encourage you to maybe watch TV or your favorite show that you're watching right now, maybe 15 minutes or 30 minutes of it, but don't engross yourself in it when you're fasting, because you're like a sponge when you fast and you just absorb everything. And if you are trying to break out of patterns and break into the newness of life and those things that your heart holds that you felt stuck and not able to move into, then I really encourage you then just to meditate on positive self-talk, and if you have some literature that's positive. I read the Bible, the Psalms, and the Proverbs. I like to meditate while I'm listening to music, quiet music, instrumental music, and to start to train your mind out of fear, because it takes literally like 21 days to create a new dendrite in your brain, the way of thinking. But sometimes you have to first identify a way of thinking that's driving you crazy, or giving you fear. It's a lie, because fear is a lie. Fear is not of God. He has not given us a spirit of fear. We are, as human beings, under the divinity of God, protected sovereign beings and who walk in authority in life, and we don't have to tolerate situations or people or spirits that make us feel that way, that we're not empowered in ourselves, that we're not loved, that we're not capable of making decisions for ourselves and our own protection or those loved ones around us. So when you are fasting, I really encourage you to, even if it's 5 minutes during a 16-hour period of fasting, just stop and just turn off the world and everything else, and reflect on what are you thinking, what are you feeling, and to love yourself in that moment and to be with yourself in that moment. And if it means writing this in a journal, or going outside and laying prostrate on the ground and connecting with nature, looking up at the clouds and just sharing your thoughts with the air, with whoever you think God is, or writing it in a journal, it's best to do it alone, and not so much with a person when you're first starting to fast, because people can get kind of weird on you until you establish your boundaries in your own life and in your disciplines in regarding your health and your lifestyle. So I encourage you to keep it as a personal and private practice. And also, but if you are offered food before your fast is broken, you just could say, no, I'm fine, thank you, and I'm gonna eat lunch later or whatever. I got something to eat later or whatever. But you don't have to say, no, I'm fasting, because that could open a door to so much stuff when you say that kind of stuff. People are just like, wah, 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 wah. You see all the demons come out of the woodwork, and everybody's flesh and everybody's lack of discipline or whatever. You rarely get a curious person that says, oh really, tell me about that. But maybe if you're ready for that and you have the right spirit to handle that, Either one, it's going to happen, whether it's negative or positive. You're going to have to work through it, but just a little bit of wisdom there, especially if you're breaking out of like generational stuff and family stuff in your family. For years, I never told my family I was fasting on the holidays when things would get really, really bad in the house. You know, people are always tense because we're creating this perfect little holiday that we see in the movies and magazines all our lives. And if we don't have that day just perfect, like a movie set, scripted, recorded, and, you know, bona fide, you know, Hollywood movie, then, you know, everybody who steps on that agenda is the bad person, right? And it's just, you know how it is. It's hard in families sometimes when you're growing up and maturing and you want to break out of cultural norms and live a different life. So fasting. I can't talk enough about fasting, and I have more to talk about, more videos and more experiences to share. And please leave comments, any comment. Don't be a smart ass. If you've listened to this whole video and you're just being critical and smug at this point, you know, just don't comment. Just go fast. Just go deal with your ugly self, you know, and help make this world a little bit more beautiful. And for those who are struggling with depression and like just this slumpy, ucky feeling in life, man, this is for you. Fasting is for you. It's so fresh like the green grass. It's so fresh like the blue sky. It is so fresh like you're standing on the beach and breathing in that air, and that's all full of minerals and mist. And you know, it's like the best thing you can take in life, and bottle it, you know, and drink it. But you do have to work for it, even in a fast. You have to get to a place where, you know, it's easy to do a 3-day no water fast, no food fast. You can research dry fasting, you can research fasting. I encourage you to go listen to all kinds of videos on it when you're curious about it. If you have a question, please leave it in the comment, because I would love to answer questions, even if I don't know them or I haven't experienced, I don't come to that place or that understanding or knowledge or wisdom that you need for that question in fasting. I will seek it out. I'll find it in somebody else's life, someone else's testimony, and I'll share it with you. And because we need to break out of sickness and death. There's too much of it in our world, and it's exalted too much. We need to exalt life and gather around and talk about that. And one way to do that is through fasting. So I hope this video is inspiring. It's definitely gone longer than my #1 video. Maybe tomorrow will be even 3 times longer, but it really kind of depends how I feel. Like I said, I feel really strong, really good. I don't feel weak. But after like 3 days of being on a fast and using all my glycogen up in my liver and my bloodstream, I will start to feel weak if I don't have proper mineral balance. So I'm just gonna have to go along with it and see how it is and how I feel, what my body tells me to. And maybe I'll just have to chug-a-lug some salt water, some more salt water. I sipped on it the first day, but haven't had anything today. And I feel fine. All right. Thanks again for listening. And yeah, I kind of want to just keep talking. I don't know why. But I just feel so good. And I'm really grateful for my job. Really grateful for the place I live, and I pay good rent, so I don't have to, you know, be afraid if my car breaks down. My car is paid off though. I just paid it off, and I could save a little bit of money. But most of all, what's most important to me is having health and energy. So however long it takes me to get my shit together, I'll still be okay. All right. Thanks a lot for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye.